How we doing? How we doing today? Okay, welcome. It is that car fixer. Where we have this podcast. We not necessarily a podcast, but Twitter space. We will talk about things related to cars and car issues and driving and basically the automobile space. All right. So my name is Joshua. Today we'll basically gisting, on a particular topic. And I'm sure a lot of people must have experienced something, relating to this somewhere, maybe when you were driving or you went out or something. I believe this is going to be an interesting one. So everyone, I'll indulge you to please try and share, the Twitter space. Let's get more people in here so that the conversations can be, booming. All right. So yes, straight off I'll be introducing my co-host. Anita Daniels. Anita Daniels, welcome.
Thank you, Joshua. Hi, good evening. Welcome to the Twitter space once again. Like Josh has said, it promises to be very exciting and interesting, and we'll have something to take back. So please feel free to give in your opinions, personal experiences, and why you think that women are considered this way. Please don't hold back. Let the opinions roll in. Thank you.
All right, straight off, that experience where I'm sure a lot of people have been on the road. Everyone has been on the road sometime or the other, whether you're driving or you're in a public transport or you're in an Uber or something, or maybe you are trekking. You must have been on the road one time or the other. Yeah, and then you may have seen some, particular kind of mysterious kind of driving by some particular kind of individuals, and then something just pricks you in your head, and you're like, oh no, that has to be a woman driving, or you're just thinking, no, now woman they drive. Now there's that popular saying, that's now woman they drive, especially maybe the person does something, you just believe that now woman feeling this kind of thing, so today that's what we're talking about, that saying now woman they drive, or it's a woman, just leave it. A woman, a woman. So why is that? Why is that? What will I call it now? Why is that popular opinion there? Why has it become a thing? Around people. Why has it become a thing? Why has it become an unspoken norm? About around everyone that when a woman or when a particular driver does something, you don't even need to be seeing the person. Maybe you're at the back or you're in the front or you're outside. You just assume that no, that person is a woman. So why do you think that has happened over time? So I'll be opening the floor to everyone that feel like they want to drop a particular. We'll talk about this, and then later on we can now open our different experiences and just tell us, okay, maybe you've experienced something before that was quite funny or bizarre, or unpleasant or obnoxious, and then we can now talk about it. So the floor is open. Anyone, why do you think there has been that popular opinion, that unspoken norm, that when someone does a particular kind of driving, you just all assume that it's a woman? So anyone that wants to talk, just let me know, and then we'll bring you up. Just give me
Okay,
five. You need to say. Okay, but yeah, Anita, you can.
Okay, let me go first. I don't know, but over time, whenever I'm with a male driver, even before the guy says it, unconsciously, I'll just blot out and I'm like, I sure say na woman they drive. Is and once we just pass by the vehicle, 80% of times I'm right. So I just feel like sometimes when they exhibit some kind of behavior while driving, I just think they're trying to be cautious or deliberate with their decisions, and this can lead to slower response time while driving. And guys don't have this patience anyhow. Now we will to the answer, they found their way to maneuver and all, but I think women just take longer time to like, should I overtake, should I just stay in my lane, should I move? Should I? Do you understand? But forgetting that they're not the only ones on the road. I mean, there are people behind
Yeah,
you. They're not the other. So make up your mind on time. This is not a case of what will I wear out. You know how ladies have clothes in their wardrobe, but they don't have what to wear out. So this is not you in your house thinking of what to wear. You're on the road. But I don't think they see it this way. So they're just trying to like be cautious or something. But sometimes it get pretty annoying, honestly.
yeah.
And the thing is that they don't like to stand being corrected. If you
That's
talk,
another thing.
yes, if you talk, they'll change it for you. Honestly, it's always a very funny experience having women behind wheel, honestly. But I just feel I just think that sometimes they're just like trying to be cautious and be
Yeah.
deliberate with their decisions, and they are not
Mm.
always fast about that and gets pretty annoying. So yeah, that's
All right. So if anyone would like to say any other thing, just drop it in the comment section or just signify by raising up your hand. Then someone will bring you up and then you can be able to talk. All right. So I would like to also draw a point. Okay. CP wants to say something. So please, can we bring CP up? All right. So I would like to say something. Yeah. Now, most of the time, it's always geared from the there are different perspectives that we should look at it. A lot of women would now okay, yeah, let me start with this. I don't want to believe that it's not all women, right, that that are in this category that would say
yeah,
na woman is life. Yes, I want us to first put that out there. That it's not all women that are what was it now indecisive when they drive or out of control or abusive. Yeah, I've heard that one a lot. I've even seen it, that abusive part. But I mean, it's not all. But I can almost bet you that a larger proportion of women, are in this particular category. Now this begs the question of why. Why is this happening? Because I mean, men obviously started the men actually started driving before the women. So why is it that when a particular driver does something, we always feel that woman they drive, that woman they drive. So basically, from my own perspective, I feel women they are more cautious. Yeah, so they are more cautious, you know, with driving, So, and also it depends on the person basically. But I believe that for driving, that is like a what's the word now? How will I describe driving now? A ah, it's not risky, but it's at the same time is somewhat in between. So in a situation like that, and you're learning, for example, you're learning how to drive. Okay, let me give you a life example. Yeah, let me give you a life example, and I'll use my dad as an example. Yeah, he learned how to drive very fast, like very very fast. And my mom, it took a longer time for her to learn. Even now, when she drives, you will know that is shaky, So that thingy is there, not because she's inexperienced. No, I think it's just that fragile nature of a woman. No, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I just feel like it's just that fragile nature of a woman that contributes in a little quota to that factor of people saying, now woman, they drive. You understand? So yeah, if you have any contrary opinion, I would like to hear it. You can just drop in the comment section or just let us know and then we'll bring you up and you can be able to talk about it. Right. So yeah, that's it. Another thing another thing I would like to note, apart from the cautiousness of women, I also think that um I've actually met women that can really, really drive, but they are very few, and those were okay. Recently I met someone, yeah, um, and this is the first lady I know so far in my life that her driving is almost better than some men. Like she drives and you're like, wow, you cannot even say na woman they drive for this one because the driving is very good. But in this part now, there are very few. So why is that norm there? That's the first question we're asking now. So anyone that wants to drop it, please let's bring people up. I want people to talk. I want to hear people's opinion. I don't want to just be the only one talking. All right. So we can bring other people up to talk. So why do we think there's that misconception? I won't say it's a misconception, but why do you think there's that unspoken rule that you know when there's a particular kind of driving, we all assume that a woman they drive, So yeah, let's bring um people that want to talk and then we can talk. Please, Mary, can you bring okay, someone wanted to talk before. Anyone that wants to talk, please signify and then we can bring you up and then you join the conversation.
okay. I'm just thinking about it. To add to what you said, I also think that sometimes it's actually stem from a lesser experience behind the wheel. than men. Yeah, so somehow they are less familiar with how to react in some situations, like I said earlier. So aside from the fact that they're being cautious, maybe sometimes they are not as experienced as men. Yeah, for the women that fall under this category, because not all, like you said, Josh. I just feel like sometimes they just don't know how to react in certain situations. They don't know when to swerve. They don't know when to stop suddenly. They don't know when to overtake. I mean, I can be with my aunt. Okay, there was a time I was with my aunt in the car, and when there was this COVID-19 social distancing, that's how my aunt gives distance with a driver. The distance between her and another car, I'm not exaggerating, another vehicle can fit in between. I don't know why. I don't know the reason behind that, but that's just how she drives. And maybe right in front of her, when there's a traffic jam or cars are like trying to, find their way pass and just get out of the jam. Believe me that my aunt can stay at that position till the road is like naturally free. She's not joining them to do this, pass here, enter this lane, enter the next lane, at least like that till you get to where you're going to. My aunt is just going to remain there. So I just feel like it's less experience. And then I think she started driving more when she lost her husband. So probably he used to do all the driving, but him not being there, rather than employ a driver to cut costs, started to like, okay, let me just take over the wheel. So maybe sometimes it can actually come from lesser experience. Not like they don't know how to drive or they didn't learn how to drive, but maybe just less experience behind the wheel. So that's why they don't know how to like react in certain situations. So
Yeah,
that's
so
it.
to also back up, so to also buttress your point, I also think that it stems from the fact of how we are built. All right, you know that men and women are built differently. So men are built to to be fast. When something happens, you are trying to look for a solution fast. So we are built to think fast. Okay, what's the next step? What do we do now? So in driving, especially when you're driving in a very or when something is about to happen, and or someone wants to overtake you, you need to like think, move, you need to try and think fast. So driving is basically about all your senses, how to be able to combine all your senses to be able to function well. You understand? So I think for women, they try to take it slow, the way they are built. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I feel. So now that more people are up, be able to speak, I'd like to hear other people's opinion on the whole thing. So the first question we're asking is, why do you think this quote, "Now woman they drive"? Why do you think it is an unspoken rule? Right now, that's the first question. Later on, we'll still talk about like people's experiences. But why do you think there is this unspoken rule about how women drive? So who wants to come up and who wants to talk?
Hi guys. Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect.
All right. So on from my point of view, um, so I feel like I think I may be biased or something, but then I feel like the idea of this this slang "na woman they drive" came. I think it's more from um there is this passive notion that I feel like women have when they're on the wheels, like they feel like, oh, they're someone is going to cheat them, someone is going to cheat them if they don't. So they're always very quick to speak up. They're always very quick to what's it called, to respond. Probably when you try to overtake them, they are very dogged. They are very dogged about. They're like, he wants to overtake me because I'm a woman and stuff like that, or he's trying to bully me off road because I'm a woman. Agree, there are some guys, that there are some men, especially all these downfall drivers, that do it. So, but then another perspective is that I feel it comes from the place of lack of patience. Now, apologies to women in the room. I think it comes from a place of lack of patience. Men, a lot of
Okay, are you
men
saying that
are not
women are not
patient on
patient
the
enough?
wheel. Like God, when you see them hold this thing, you will be like, they try and be calming down first. Be calming down. It's not fight. To some women, driving is war. Like the moment they are holding that,
Exactly.
the moment they are holding that steering wheel like this, they are going to war and they are battle ready. So any small bass boost from any left side like this, them to their bass, as you are bassing them, they are giving you their own boost. So I feel like it comes from, unlike a guy, especially an average guy, when he's on the wheel, I feel like an average, except if he's mostly these downfall drivers and the like. But when you see an average normal guy, even when you try to want to overtake, he'll probably give you space. In fact, if you've been on Lagos traffic quite a number of times, you'll notice this thing. Like if actually on Third Milan Bridge, coming back from work, you'd be, and you want to just on to someone, you just swing your hand down, and you just swing your hand down, you just see them. Guys will literally give you space to move. But in my years of joining that route, I can't remember flagging down a woman driver and she gives you space. They know they give space. so so me, I feel like it comes from that perception of I mean, they want to cheat me off, so they will not just agree. I feel that's where it comes from and stuff like that. So that's just my those are my opinions about it, though.
True. Some women know they agree. I like that. I think I think it was important for someone to mention that.
Yes.
All right. I also want a woman to talk. I want a lady to talk. Ladies, come and defend yourself. Defend your gender. I want a lady to talk. I
Hi.
want to hear from a lady's perspective. All right. Welcome. You have the floor.
Hi, Joshua.
Yeah. What's up?
Hi, everyone. Okay, so contradictory to what Steve said, you're saying that because it's a woman that is behind the wheels, okay, or according to topic, now woman they drive. There are so many times that I've experienced a guy driving, and people, even when he makes a mistake, people will be like, oh, he's driving like a woman. What are we going to say about those guys? Why is it that they are saying he's driving like a woman? Many times that guys usually make mistakes also, but they still want to point it out that, oh, he's driving like a woman. I feel that it's coming from a point of the way people have already view women in even different certain ways. Apart from the fact of driving, they've looked at it that a woman is lesser in every way. She cannot do things perfectly as a man will do. They are now bringing it to the form of driving, because men too, they drive anyhow. They drive, some men, I've seen many times that men will drive like as if they didn't even go to driving school, and they will still say he's driving like like a woman. So most of the time they just want to use it like they've already put man in this superior place over ladies, that yes, so ladies cannot do it the perfect way a guy can do it. So even if it's a man that makes that mistake too, they'll still want to bring it. It's just the societal way that people have already reasoned women to be like already. There are many times that women drive way better than men, but people will not see that one. It's only the one that a woman makes mistake they will want to bring out, whereas men are making the same mistakes, equal amount of mistakes that women are also making. They will still say he's driving like a lady or he's driving like a woman. So
All right, thank you very much, Duni. I really do appreciate that. That was a new perspective to it. But I think I need to highlight some things and make sure that we are all clear. Now, it's important for us to note that men too have their own. There's no. I'm not saying that men are perfect drivers. No, what I'm trying to say is that there has been this misconception that when particular driving is taking place, we just assume that now woman they drive. So what I'm saying is there are some men obviously that they don't even really drive well. They don't even know how to drive. They move slow. They don't really drive well. You understand? But there are also women too that I just talked about a friend of mine. That if she drive, you will not even know that it's the woman that is driving. I mean, talk about really perfect drivers. What's her name now? Ashley Danica, one of the best drivers in the world. She's a female driver. This other lady again, Jamie Chadwick, one of the perfect drivers in the world. So that's also a woman. So there are also women that are very good drivers. But we should not join it together. There's the thing that men can drive. Now I want us to separate this superiority thing that you're talking about. Yeah, let's not generalize it. We understand that people see men as this in these areas. People see women as this in these areas. But I'm saying these areas of cars and how women drive, what do we think about the issue of, or what do we think created this misconception or unspoken rule that when a particular kind of driving takes place, it's a woman. Right? Do we have any other person that wants to talk?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay, so thank you for the opportunity. So on my end, I'm not actually a driver, but I'm going to talk from the experience I've had being driven in a car.
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
Perfect.
so one thing I notice is naturally women are very, very principled, and that's why a lot of men see them as being wicked. Women are principled and they are more organized, and I think that's one of the reasons why God, after making Adam, discovered that he still needs a woman. So what am I trying to say? Women, somebody said women are not patient. They are more patient. Men are not patient to follow rules, especially here in Nigeria. So when they find a woman, trying to follow that principle, when they know the woman can actually bypass that principle and move ahead, they see it as a weak person, they see it as weakness. Do you understand me? So a lot of times when I see situation, hey, now woman self they drive. When I see such situation, I usually correct the driver, make the driver also see why that old lady has to drive the way she's driving. So I think it's about principle. Men are always in a haste to bypass rules, while women will always want to follow rules. Yeah, that's my opinion.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much for that. Do we have any other person?
Yeah,
All right.
good evening, guys. Yeah,
Yeah, good
so
evening.
personally, I feel like the na woman they drive job, I think is a stereotype. I also think that the way women drive is the standard, and you would find a lot of times that this na woman they drive thing is only common in Lagos, and this would come from how you would often hear people say that only a mad person can in fact drive in Lagos. And you would also find that when people move abroad, the driving there is very different from how we drive here. It is absolutely different. Abroad, people wait for human beings. People are scared of human beings when you are driving. As a driver, you are scared of human beings. But here in Nigeria, it is human beings that are scared of cars. And you would find that a woman would stay on a lane, would not bypass, would not.
I think Royalty is having issues with his network.
Oh,
So
okay.
so anybody else that wants to share their opinions or views can
All right.
go.
So what
Not
we'll do
that
is
you're
now I would like to switch it up, and let's now have like real life experiences, about issues or about experiences that you may have gone through or you may have seen, or you may have experienced that you say, this thing happened to me. So that is why I feel this particular phrase is used.
Hi
You
guys.
understand?
Hi.
Okay, so we lost you for a moment. Yeah.
Sorry. I had a call coming, so that was what
Okay.
yes.
All right.
So please, what was the last thing you heard me say?
The stereotype.
Okay, yes. So I
Yeah.
was saying that it is a stereotype on this part of the world because you know everyone is expected to drive like a mad person in Lagos, and this is why you would find that Lagos roads are like that. Women are modeled to be more careful, and you would find that abroad people don't say things like, oh, now woman the driver, it's a woman driving, because they have a patterned and similar way of driving. It is only here that you'd find that anybody can just want to, like, break traffic rules or drive in such an unruly manner. To tilt towards what Anita said about our aunt, I also have someone that's close to me that when she's driving, she would be on her lane till she's able to get to her destination. She's not going to change lanes. She's not going to drive very fast because she wants to beat traffic lights. She takes her time. And that is the standard for driving. So I think anyone who thinks that women are now women they drive and consider that inexperienced is actually the one with the glitch, because that is supposed to be the standard of how you drive. When you move abroad and you a lot of people cannot. I know people that used to be like very good drivers here in Nigeria, and when they moved to the UK, they could not pass their driving test because obviously they've gotten so used to how you just park anyhow, drive anyhow, change lanes anyhow, bypass traffic rules, and all of that, and they are unable to pass their driving test, right? So that is how it is. So it's not a thing of even when you drive in places like maybe in Oshogbo or Ibadan, you don't really hear, because I think it's just the Lagos factor that would consider women inexperienced. I think they are the standard. I think we should all emulate how women drive, not because of the only reason why you say a woman there is because maybe she's moving on her lane and you want to overtake her, and you now eventually overtake her unruly, so, and you now get to the side of her car and ask, oh, now woman they drive. Is that her fault? Obviously not. It's not her fault. It is your own fault that you cannot, in fact, stay on the lane and you just want to jump out of that lane and be on the other lane. So, once again, I feel like women should be the standard of driving. If women can be the standard of driving, the messiness we have on our Lagos roads will decline, because everyone will want to maintain a reasonable standard of care of roads. You would respect pedestrians. You would be careful. You would not want to break traffic rules. So I feel like the now women they drive thing, I think, is a stereotype, and it does not. It should, the way they drive should be like the standard. And this does not mean that they are not women that drive in such a way that drive the fast and furious way. Do you understand? There are women that do that too, but a lot of times they always maintain a more standard of care. They maintain more standard of care. Men don't have men are modeled not to have such patience. I know women too that drive very, very, anyway, but the general stereotype that makes people say that woman they drive and is inexperienced and all of that, I think that standard is how everyone should drive. The patience, the stealthiness, the will to drive on your lane. That's what causes a lot of rashes on the road. Yeah, so that's pretty much it.
All right, thank you very much, Realty. All right, so if I get you perfectly well, you're saying that the way women drive should be the standard way of driving. And I think I would also agree with you when you say um it's the Lagos factor. The driving is prompt from the Lagos factor. The way Lagos is like the what's it now? The business capital of Africa, and how there's the rush, everybody's out there, the basketballs, there's so much rush in Lagos that anyone that is going to survive in Lagos has to be, in quotes, mad, has to be like, fast, has to be like proactive, So I think that is what is pushing that unspoken rule that a woman they drive, because we just expect, or people will just expect, that since you are in Lagos, or since you are driving in this kind of a situation, you should be fast or proactive or something. All right, so I would like to give a 1 minute break so that everyone can kindly follow Flickwheel. So if you've not followed Flickwheel, please try and do that right now. The account Flickwheel, please try and do that right now. All right, so now we'll open it for everyone to give experiences. I'm sure a lot of people will have funny experiences. I was talking with someone the other day, and she was giving me like some hilarious experiences of how one woman cussed her out when she was driving, and they just began like one serious argument and all those things. So now I want to hear your own personal experience. I think I will share mine first, then we just talk about it. So what is your personal experience of how women drive on the road in Lagos? All right. So I've encountered a lot of experience. I entered a bus one at a time, a commercial vehicle one at a time, and we were driving somewhere, and then the woman came from nowhere. It was a Sienna car. She just came from nowhere and overtook the bus I was in. It was fine. And then the guy too was trying to also block because the road was tight and people were in a hurry. It was in Monday. It was a Monday morning. You know, Monday morning rush and everything. And the woman came to overtake, and she wanted to overtake, but she was slow. Baba shook her too. Then they started argument too. This one was abusing this, and this one was abusing this person. And this one now say, "You cannot do that to me. Don't think because I'm a woman that you do that." You know, so there has been that thing there that that's why I understand Steve's point when he said that it's because of how they have seen women in the past, you know, and the way they drive. That's why people feel like they can ride over them, you know. So I want to hear personal experiences. If you have any personal experiences of how that phrase, "na woman they drive," plays out, I'd like to hear it. So Anita, you can go next. Oh, she's not here. All right. So who wants to go next?
I'm also next.
All right, let's go. Welcome.
Okay, um, so I also speak to like I want to speak about an experience I had.
All right.
So I have a
About what royalty talked about earlier. I was just going through the comments, and I think she wants to speak concerning the stereotype or something. So Blossom, I don't know if she's still here.
Yeah, hello, I'm here.
Okay, okay. So thank you.
Okay, hi everyone. So I'd like to speak to um what royalty talked about regarding ladies being stereotyped, like mostly in Lagos. So I highly disagree with that. Ladies are stereotyped like everywhere, like all the even like in the east, because I stay in the east a lot, and like we are stereotyped a lot. Same with Abuja, where I've also been to, right? So it's not just a Lagos thing. It is something that is seen in every part of the country. And I also think this is also due to, you know, no, I mean well by saying this. Guys are known to have like egos, and they always look down on ladies, right? So this is also part of the reason why they are stereotyped. And also, someone also has spoke towards this, the fact that ladies are built, they are calm, they are built to be patient, they are built to um they are built to they are built to be very cautious with the way they do things. I know that guys are known to be risk takers. Like so there was this experience, and I was being driven though this time. So the person driving was really fast, and I was just wondering how he was going to be able to maneuver. I was like, guy, you get mine, so it's in his, like, his response was that, I mean, it's just for you to, like, in your head, know that nothing will happen. Just gauge, like, the number of distance you're to take over maybe a particular vehicle, and tell yourself, like, you have to be sure you can do it, and you do it. You have to do it without being scared, because if you're scared, you will not be able to do it. And I mean, you're telling this to a lady. A lady will not totally understand this. A lady is known to, even like while we work, while we do things, we do it calmly. You can't just see a lady jump up anyhow, right? So I think this is part of it. And also from my own experience, because I drive, I don't have that kind of mind. Like I said, this is the way most ladies are built. Although my sister, I don't even know, like, if you hit her vehicle, the way she will pursue you, she even surprises me. Because I actually thought I was the calm one, but no, she's like even way more, So this is, so I feel like this is, it's a thing it's a thing of the way God created us to be like really careful. Ladies are nurturing. Ladies are the ones who take care of the home and all of that. Yeah. So thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. That just buttressed my point when I said it depends. It's just the way we are built. That men and women are built differently. All right, Tofumi, you wanted to say something. Is Tofumi still here? All right. So yeah, so as I said before, it begs the question of how men and women are built. Because we are built totally differently. Yeah. So who else wants to come up and say and drop their experience? Now we're opening the floor to everyone that has like different experiences, that they've experienced that make them feel like this is why this code stands, or this is why this unspoken rule stands. Or it could even be a female commercial driver.
So
Yeah,
hi
it could
guys.
be that.
So me, I have interesting experiences. I think it all comes from the fact that I think I've been in several. So one is, so I used to work at this company back on the island, and then we had a staff. Interestingly, she was not in Nigeria, and she came from the States to work in the company, and then she got a car. So I was staying, she stays at VGC, then I stay at Aja. So I would normally go home with her after work. Oh my god. So she drives a Toyota Corolla. In, in less than 4, what am I saying? 3 months of her getting that Toyota Corolla. Man, the dents the dents on those cars, oh lord, they were wild. I mean, at a point we started saying, oh, we're going to be putting sticker on everywhere, every place where she has dents. Like in less than 3 months, when this lady is driving, oh, she's always, she'll be like, that don't think because I come from this state you can just chance me. You all know how Lekki Aja traffic usually would be
Yeah,
after that. So she
yeah,
would she would drag the road, she would cause, I say, interestingly, when she first started, right, at first, I think her first month driving, she was very slow. She would maintain a lane, she would do this, she would do that. That I would get home around that period. I will get home. We'll leave work around 4:30. We will not get to VJC till around 8 because of how slow she drives. I mean, it only took her about 2-3 weeks. She got the Niger fever. I can't understand what position, the IO's position. That's royalty on. It's a Lagos. There is this thing about Lagos, like, you can't be too calm on Lagos Road, right? You can't be too gentle on. If you are too gentle on Lagos Road, most of the time it's to your own detriment. So you want to have a spice of madness, and a spice of, and a spice of Holy Spirit. So you give them one Holy Spirit vibe some days. Some other, in a twinkle of an eye, you give them the bass levels. And so I understand that perspective, that Lagos has this perception. It shapes you into the kind of driver it needs you to be, and it's very understandable because of our traffic and everything. I mean, it's so interesting how that in about 3 months she transformed. Man, her car was it was the definition of Lagos Road. And this is someone that even still drives on the island, not mainland. That was one of the experiences I come for, and that's why I usually say, that's why I feel like, rather, that ladies can be impatient sometimes. Like, sometimes when
mm,
you just let some things go, you just don't want to be cheated and stuff like that. So my second experience is not actually an experience, it's an open question I'm throwing up to the crowd. So why is it that women, when they drive, and then the car, especially married women drive, married female drivers, when they drive and the car has issues, the next thing is to bring up phone and call the husband? Is it like a cliche? Because God, I have several timeline of female married drivers that do this thing. Once the car spoils on the road like this, the next thing is they are calling the husband. Hello, the car has spoiled to
before.
send driver. So I just want to throw that question. Is it like, do you guys have that meeting where you say, oh, at this, when you are married, just call your husband to come and fix the car, because it's like a normal thing for women. So those
Mm.
are my
So
experiences.
so 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 I, Steve, I can hear you. I know. Who told you the men doesn't call the lady, their
How
wives?
will a man mostly,
Who
a
said
man
so?
mostly will not call the
If
wife to come and carry his car when he spoils.
uh, that-
It's a woman, it's a female thing.
okay, so okay, that's fine. Me, I want to share my own experience before they
All right.
start answering to that question. So my experience, like I said, I'm not a driver, but most of the times I drive with my sister. So initially, I mentioned that women are more principled, like they try to obey the rules of the road. So a lot of times I've driven with my sister. You realize that we are we are on maybe in a traffic, waiting for the traffic to get moving, you will find maybe keke men behind trying to find their way, and you realize that if they happen to find their way, they'll be blocking the coming vehicles. My sister will never agree. She will go and block that tiny place they will pass through. She will stay there until she ensures that the vehicles are moving. she will stay there until she ensures that the vehicles are moving before she clear. By the time they now find their way, hey, come and see abuse. Hey, now woman. So they now see that now woman thing as an abuse, because I know that a lot of women feel bad when they hear now woman they drive as if they are not capable. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So they now believe that whenever they say it, they have given you the highest insult.
Yeah.
So I think it's becoming something natural. Like someone said, I think this thing is common here in Nigeria, because I know I've traveled to Kenya, I've traveled to Zambia. If these people that, like, women are emotional, and in some of the countries they try to put the people first. I saw a situation where a vehicle carrying me, or maybe a cab carrying me, saw children playing football. The car had to wait. The children did not see the car and start clearing. The car had to wait until they gradually cleared his way before he passed. But in Nigeria, hey, they can kill those children. So I think it's a mentality, here in Nigeria, and I don't think it's cool. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you for everyone that has also shared. We'll be rounding off very shortly, but let's see if we can take some few more people's opinion concerning it. And once again, if you've not followed the account, please follow Flickwill, the first account there, Flickwill, and yeah. So yes, David, you were raising up your hand. David's Creed. Let's hear you.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. My name is Ken. I think everyone has spoken well. It's been interesting so far. I've been laughing here, just I've been muted as well. So I want to give my own opinion about this thing. So I feel like it's a cultural thing for somewhere like Nigeria. This I've not really gone to anywhere else apart from Nigeria in Africa. But let me just stay with Nigeria and let me not quote something wrong for other countries in Africa. So let me just say for Nigeria, yeah, I think it's a cultural thing. Growing up, there's a certain way the male gender and the female gender are being built. All right. The male gender they always tend to give them like the hard work, the carrying of loads, going out to fetch water, or I know ladies also go out to fetch water, but cutting of grass and everything, most of the times, why the ladies spend like most of their times indoors cleaning the house, cooking and the likes. So it has now become like a norm growing up. The guys are always exposed to the tough part of domestic activities, and the ladies are doing the softer ones. I want to use this movie as an illustration. The Woman King. I think that movie entered the cinemas last year. So if you actually watch that movie, you would see that so these women, the women that were the soldiers, they actually were trained, they were built to be that strong, brave person, women that they became, fighting, beating men anyhow, which was actually cool. They were actually built that way. And I would also want to take I would also want to use a friend of mine as an example. So there's this friend I have, Tosin. She's a lady. She drives. In fact, where I used to work before, she was my colleague, and she was actually the best driver in that company. And why? Because Tosi actually grew up with her father, you know. So she did most of the guys thing growing up. So if you see Tosi now, if you talk to her, she's not always scared of. In fact, she would want to even show you that she has more power than you. So and then if you watch her drive, sometimes you see those things that these guys, these downfall guys, the way they drive, Tosi can drive that way, and she's very good. She's very very good. You can never see Tosin's car being bashed and everything. So when people always say this thing that oh now woman they drive, it actually comes from this element. People always see women as oh they're actually built to be soft. It's just like when there's a fight now, you don't expect the women to come out. It's the guys that will come out and they will try to protect the women. So it actually has become part, or let me say it actually has become a mindset thing for everybody in the country. Whereas if you go outside the country, probably in the US, from people's experience, I know the ladies they are very very active there. In fact, they do guys things there. Some ladies are actually the breadwinners of their family over there. You understand? So most of the times it's not always because they feel like women are actually they are not competent, or they don't have that capability to drive very well. It's just because, and most times I'll tell you this thing for free. Most times when guys see a woman, probably she's moving slowly, and they pass her, they'll be like, obìnrin ni, it's a woman, and they will just move. But if it's a guy, they will
Yeah.
insult the guy.
Mm.
That's the truth. They would insult the guy. They will tell the guy, tó bá lè wa mọ́tò ẹ lọ park yẹn lé. That's if you cannot drive, go on or kó lọ gba driver, something like that. They will insult guys. But when it's ladies, they're always very, very calm with them, just allow them go. So it's coming from this element. People always see ladies as okay, they are actually easygoing, soft, but it
Mm.
doesn't mean they are not tough sometimes, like when it comes to their career and everything. But when it comes
Right.
to like the doings, you understand? So that's just how I feel about this topic.
All right. Thank you very much, Ken. Thank you very much for everyone that has contributed one way or the other, to say their experiences and their one sense opinion concerning the topic. Now, woman they drive, and why there has been that unspoken rule or that norm or that that popular opinion when people say now woman they drive. All right. I'm sure we would all come to a consensus that, I mean, it's majorly because of how we are built, and then hearing from everyone's opinion it also depends on individual, as far as we know that there are good drivers, there are also bad drivers, whether it be male or female. All right, we'll be running off with this Twitter space very shortly because this was supposed to last for just 1 hour, 6 to 7. But yes, we will be doing this subsequently every week. As by God's grace, we'll be doing this every week. But thank you, everyone that contributed one way or the other. Royalty, Umotola, Duni, Nkechi. Who else didn't I mention? Everyone that contributed. Ken, Steve. Thank you very, very much for your contributions. Anita, do you have any last words before we round off totally?
Okay, yeah, thank you for all that has been said so far. Like I said, we definitely have something to take home. So on my side, so it's just safe to say that from what I've heard from everybody so far, overall, it is important to remember that driving ability depends on many factors that go beyond gender. This could include age, experience, driving habits, and exposure to driving situation. So yeah, that's my take home for today based on the topic. It was really enlightening and it was really awesome to hear each and every one of you give your 2 cents. We'll be doing this more often and it'll be awesome to have you around. Like Josh said, if you haven't followed the page, Flickwill, please do so before the space ends or afterwards. Thank you.
All right. So what would also be, if possible, would also be dropping this on our podcast channel. So if you missed anything, or if you want to also share it, if you enjoyed it so much and you feel like this would be beneficial for someone else, we'll be posting it somewhere. So we'll just share the link. You can be able to do that as well. All right. So many thanks for everyone that joined in. Maybe subsequently, because I feel like the timing was a bit short, right? Somehow I feel like the timing was a bit short, because I'm sure a lot of people still want to vent and share their opinions. I mean, some people have like some crazy, car experiences and all those things. So I even have like a lot, but because of our time, I will be moving it to probably next week. So maybe next week, if we have enough time, if we have ample time, and we start early, we'll be able to cover a lot of other things that we have to do. So thank you very much for joining. I will be the live will be coming to a close very shortly in 1 minute. All right, I remain the radio paragon, the mic verbalizer. Call me the radio lover boy. My name is Joshua Ikenye Mercury. All right, take care of yourself. Good night.
Good night, Josh. Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Good night.